Hey everyone, it's Gina at Eyelash Pro Company, and I wanted to give everyone another little demonstration of how easy it is to pick up my easy fanning or fast fanning lashes. So basically all you want to do is come in, grab a little chunk, and if they're not exactly the way you want them to look, set them down on your little sticky strip with just a little tiny bit of your base hanging off. Simply touch and open it the way you want it to be. Grab a hold, pick it up, and there you go. Look at the nice little narrow skinny base. Okay, and I'm just using some double-sided tape to kind of stick these down onto, so they may close just a little bit, but you can manipulate them and open them back up. Okay, so what I want to talk about also right quick is there's quite a bit of controversy in our industry, it seems like, about these particular style or types of volume lashes and whether or not it's even really volume or that type of thing, and how safe it is or not. I just wanted to say that I'm not disagreeing with what anybody's opinions are on these. I'm just telling you what my experience is with them. I've been working with these for over a year, a little over a year. And what I have found is that first of all, they're not damaging to my clients' lashes, because that is like the first and foremost and most important thing to me. I've been working on numerous clients for well over a year, and their natural lashes have not been damaged. The thing to kind of keep in mind is when you're starting out doing classic lashes, let's just say, and you start out using a 0.15 diameter lash, that particular weight and diameter is what we kind of use in our industry to gauge what a natural lash can support. Most people who have a fairly strong or healthy natural lash can support 0.15, and that means 0.15 of 1 millimeter, so it's very, very tiny, okay, in terms of diameter and weight. So most people can support that. So then when we talk about going down to volume or doing volume, and that's just 0.15 is a classic lash, and that's using one extension, dipping it into some glue, isolating a natural lash, one natural lash, and applying that extension on to one natural lash. But let's just say you want to do a volume look and you want to have something that looks more like this, a fan, what we call a fan, and we call them 4D, 5D, 6D, that type of thing. And what that means is how many extensions, pieces of hair, if you will, or PBT, it's a plastic material, is in that one fan. Okay, and so what we do is we break down, it's by volumetric calculations, trying to figure out how much space is inside of a cone-shaped item. So what we do is, in order to determine how many of these little lesser in diameter, which this particular one happens to be a 0.05, and in diameter of 1 millimeter, so it's quite a bit smaller in terms of diameter than the 0.15. Okay, so what we do is we take a volumetric calculation, and volume of any cone-shaped item, if you want to figure out that space that's inside and how many smaller items, let's just say, can fit into that space. Let's say you have an ice cream cone, or any kind of a cone-shaped item. In this case, we're talking about our extensions, and you hollow out that 0.15 extension, and you want to see how many 0.05s can fit in it. You take the mathematical volumetric calculations and you work it out. Basically, you say the calculation is volume equals pi, which is 3.14, times the radius squared times height divided by 3. And in height, in our case, this is the length, and in this case right here, it is 12 millimeters long. And then we divide it by 3 because it's a three-dimensional object. Okay, so we have a safe volumetric formula, mathematical formula that we follow to determine how many of these lesser in diameter and lesser weight extensions we can use to equal one 0.15 extension. So that's how we go about. This is exactly what I teach in all of my classes. I always have and I always will, because that's my, like I said, that's just so big to me. That's really important that my students and everyone in the industry who's coming in, or even people who've been in it for a while and don't understand this volumetric calculation, that they understand it so that they can know how to safely gear, engage, and determine how many extensions that in a fan that their clients can hold. Okay, I go through very detailed information on this in my classes. So these particular extensions, you kind of have to figure, those of you who are in the industry and you've done classic lashes, this particular fan is basically equal to or about the same in terms of the base, the diameter of the base is as a 0.15 classic lash, okay? And so when you put these on, yes, it's not going to you're not going to be able to achieve a wrap, which, you know, in our industry, we can take a regular volume fan, extension type fans, and make fans out of, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little, I don't mean to confuse everybody. These are easy fanning lashes. They're sticky at the base, which means when you pull them apart, they stay together, okay, just like that. Regular volume extensions fall apart at the base when you pick them up, so you have to take months and months and practice. In most cases, in mine, it took a long time. And hold it just right, pick it up just right with your angle of your tweezers, have just the right pressure, you know, put it down on whatever, however you're practicing and making them. Some people put it down on a sticky base and then they try to manipulate it and form a fan that looks like a W, a big, big wide W or a narrow W or whatever. So you take that and you make it, you put it on, you dip your fan in some glue, and then you come and put it on one isolated natural lash. And so what happens a lot of times, I mean, some people still say that the jury's still out on this whole theory, but you can kind of see sometimes when you do the regular volume, Russian volume, and use regular extensions, volume extensions, that when you place it down on a natural lash, that it kind of wraps around that natural lash. In other words, you have that, sorry about my nails, they're terrible right now, but you have a natural lash and you go to put that extension on, and it just sort of comes around and grips onto the natural lash. These don't do that. I mean, there's no way they can, because they're already stuck together when you pull them off the strip, and then you put them in glue, and then you put them on the natural lash, okay? But what I have found, and some people say, see, you're not going to get near as good a retention that way as you would with using regular volume extensions and getting your wrap situation done. So what I have found, and I thought the same thing too, what I have found over the last year, almost year and a half, my clients actually have better retention with using this type of extension, easy fanning, fast fanning lash. And obviously it doesn't wrap around the natural lash and it just sits there, but I think it's just the same. You have to think of it in terms of a classic natural lash. Classic lashes just sit on top of a natural lash. They don't wrap, and they do eventually fall off and they wear off, they grow out or whatever, but these actually kind of do the same thing. But I have actually found that I have better retention than I do when I use regular volume extensions. And I don't fully understand why. I'm not here to try to convince anybody. I'm just telling you this is my experience and the truth about my particular type of easy fanning lashes. So first of all, most importantly, they have not caused any damage to my clients' natural lashes. They are just as good, if not better, in terms of retention for all of my clients. They produce the most awesome sets of strip lash look effect lashing, in my opinion, because I personally love the strip lash look, and I like the messy bun strip lash look, so to speak, where they're not just all perfect and they're just kind of natural looking, I guess you would say. There is rhyme and reason to it. Obviously, I have spent almost a year mapping out, creating lash maps in order to create certain types of looks, because there are all different types of strip lash looks and effects that you can do on your clients. So I've spent a lot of time with that too, but they just produce for me. Personally, what I love is they just produce the most amazing strip lash look effect. So I just wanted to go over that again with everyone and let you know that that is just, my honest opinion on these. I used a lot of different ones when I was trialing them and trying them out. Some of them are not so great. Some of them are much better than others. I probably have trialed about 12 or 15 different manufacturers before I found these particular ones that I really love. So I just wanted to share that information. And another cool thing too that you can do, since they're already kind of stuck together at the base, if you are practicing and you want to just get a double-sided piece of double-sided sticky tape, you can do these lashes. You can practice with these lashes, and you can use these later on because you've already pre-done them. They're kind of like a pre-made fan at this point in time. And here's another thing too I want to show just again right quick. And this is one thing I show my students, so that, because I've had people say, well, they're so wasteful, you have to sit here and pick a bunch of them off because it's too many and it's just not right. So what you do is you come in, I purposely grab, a little bit bigger chunk. And what I do is set it back down, I press the base down, and I come back in and I split it in half. And I grab half and I pull up. So now I have this fan ready to go, which is probably about a 60 fan, and then I come back over here and I already have this one made, and it's split apart just a little, so I'm just going to press on it, and here's a 40 fan that's sitting here waiting for me, and it's 12 millimeter in length, so I'm going to go into a section where I'm going to put that on, and there you go. So that's one of the reasons too that I can teach students who are brand new, who've only been classic trained, because these things are so easy, they literally make themselves. And I can teach you how to do it more quickly than you would normally. And for those of you who are used to and already doing classic or Russian volume extensions using the regular and making your own fans, you can do this so much faster because you can make 2 fans at a time, basically. So anyway, I just wanted to share all that information once again with everyone. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to let me know. Talk to you later. See you on the next video.